Hey there, today we're back with another installment of the Kobalt 80V tool reviews. So in this video we're going to discuss the 80V chainsaw and whether or not it is worth it. So those of you who have tuned into the mower review may have seen bits and pieces of this backyard and some of the maintenance that it might require. For those of you who have not seen the other 80V reviews, I have done a snowblower review as well as an 80V mower review, both using the same battery system from Kobalt. But in this video, I just want to give you guys a quick performance review of this chainsaw, specifically with the 6 amp hour battery, since that is the battery pack we have used in all three of these different tools. Now this is not going to be a side-by-side comparison of a gas equivalent chainsaw. However, we do own a 2-stroke John Deere. I think it's about 15-16 years old now. That was a good chainsaw, but since we have the other 80V tools, we figured we'd try the chainsaw and see how it did, and it turns out it is plenty powerful to handle this backyard. So I'm just going to start with the cons of this chainsaw, since there's only one that we have, and that is the weight. Now again, we do have the 6 amp hour battery, which does add a bit to the weight of the chainsaw. However, the chainsaw is pretty heavy to start with, so the battery pack is a good portion of the extra weight, but overall the chainsaw is pretty heavy compared to a gas counterpart. So I've not weighed the battery chainsaw in comparison to the John Deere gas powered one we have. However, I'd estimate it's somewhere between 20 and 30% heavier, again with the 6 amp hour battery. I would knock a few pounds off if you have a lesser amp hour battery pack, as those things are heavy by themselves, so I definitely subtract a few pounds with the smaller amp hour battery pack, but overall it is a pretty hefty chainsaw. Now everything else with the chainsaw has been very positive. You know, the maintenance very low with the chainsaw. You basically add some bar oil and chain oil into the reservoir and throw the battery pack in and you're ready to cut. Now all the cuts we have done have been between, I would say, 4 inches all the way up to about 14 inches with this chainsaw. So keep that in mind, as we've not maxed out the chainsaw, you know, at 18, 20 inch cuts or anything like that. But we have done some large cuts here in the backyard and it has held up just fine. Now using the chainsaw is very simple. There's basically a button you push, it'll beep, turns off the safety, you pull the trigger and you're ready to cut. And the chainsaw handles almost all types of wood without a problem. We've both cut soft wood as well as some hardwood in the back, and it is handled, like I said, those 12 or 14 inch cuts without a problem. As a matter of fact, you can do multiple repetitively and it will not slow down whatsoever. In fact, we have had problems with not draining the battery far enough that the charger will actually charge the battery, even doing all these cuts. So that is the one other complaint we have, which is kind of small, that the battery will not drain far enough that the charger senses it needs charge. So that's just a little gripe with the battery system, I guess, in general, more than the chainsaw specifically. And I just wish that after using the battery, you know, to cut 10 logs here in the backyard, that the charger would sense that the battery is drained a little bit and would charge it back up to full, rather than, you know, just sitting there on the charger not being charged. And I guess that says something about the longevity of the battery and the chainsaw, is that it can handle, you know, 20, 30 cuts, I would assume, at these, you know, 8 to 12 inch ranges without a problem. We've never gotten the battery to drain low enough from using the chainsaw when put back on the charger to charge back up. So I guess that goes to show that maybe the 6 amp hour battery might be a little overkill for this chainsaw, but I'd rather have too much battery pack than not enough. Now I want to make sure to add some raw footage in here so you guys can get a feel for how it sounds as well as how it's cutting and everything like that. So I'll go ahead and roll that now and come back and give you guys my final thoughts. So before I started filming, I went on Lowe's.com just to see what the chainsaws are selling for currently, and to my surprise they have a $50 off special going on. So you can get the tool only chainsaw for $149. There's a 2 amp hour battery pack for $249 and a 5 amp hour battery pack for $299. Now if you ask me which one of those is the best deal, it would depend on the situation and your 80V lineup currently. If you are new to the 80V lineup, don't have any battery pack and want to jump in first with this chainsaw, I would highly recommend doing the 5 amp hour combo pack. Now if you already have 80V batteries and just want to add the chainsaw onto your lineup, I would definitely spring for the tool only at $149. And both these prices can be combined with the 10% off for veterans if you are a military or a veteran. So keep that in mind while searching for these products, that you can stack the 10% off veteran discount at Lowe's with these sale prices. So overall, I would definitely recommend the Kobalt 80V chainsaw to anybody interested in a battery powered chainsaw. Now I guess it would depend whether or not you are in the 80V ecosystem already as to what price you can get into the chainsaw for, but I would definitely recommend it to anybody who is interested in this chainsaw. The chainsaw performs really well. Hopefully you guys have seen that through this video, but I would definitely recommend it to anybody searching for a battery powered chainsaw. So if you guys have any further questions or comments on this chainsaw, leave them down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them, and I'll get back to you if necessary. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It definitely helps out these videos. And if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and checking out some of the other 80V tool reviews. I'll go ahead and throw one up in the card in the corner for you guys to check out. So with all that being said, we'll see you guys in the next video.